Hello, this is Barry Enerson from the Trade Ideas Live Trading Room. It is Wednesday, May the 20th. This is the address to get into our room, and you can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account. Excuse me. Well, let's take a look at the first trade of the day. Hello, this is Barry Enerson from the Trade Ideas Live Trading Room. It is Wednesday, May the 20th. This is the address to get into our room, and you can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account. Really, there's two trades to talk about today, excuse me, in depth. First one is PBMD, Prima Biomed. Now, first of all, before I go on, a massive shout out to Boiler John in our trading room because he pointed this out yesterday, actually in the pre-market. And you're looking at yesterday's trading, all right? And you can see that it was sitting for the longest time at 78 cents. And he had caught some kind of a press release this is an Australian stock and obviously trades on the American exchanges too. But he had caught a press release that they had released some great news about, I think it's a ovarian cancer drug. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, what exactly it is. It doesn't really matter, except it was a pretty good press release. And I have to admit, I watched this. It intrigued me when he first mentioned it, and I watched it, but it really did nothing. And as he said, he sat and watched that for about 4 hours, and at 78 cents, and then all of a sudden, boom, it had a lift here. And I was going to wait for $1 if it could crack through. Now, these are not the type of stocks that I normally get involved in. Certainly less than $1, but I'm usually trading stocks that are over $20. So it's not that I flock into these type of stocks, but certainly when I see a move like this out of consolidation, and with volume, excuse me, it obviously is going to catch my interest. But then you see how it pulled back. Thought, okay, well maybe it's over. It's had its little fling, trying to get through $1, couldn't do it, and now it's back to reality. However, you can see that here is where it just started to really explode. And when it got over $1 right there, and then it pulled back. You see it pulled back right to 99 cents. It recaptured $1, and I decided to go in at $1.10. I took some at $1.10. And again, the conservative nature in me is I got rid of a little bit of $1.35. But for me, this was a pretty tight stop. I mean, if $1.10, if it gone under $1, I was going to be out. So it was a pretty tight stop. So I did get out some at $1.35. Now I watched it. Now remember, this is late in the day. This trade actually was at 3:31, which is really late in the day for me to take a trade. I rarely initiate any trades at this time. Actually in the last hour, I don't usually do very much. But anyway, I took this trade this late. And I said I may swing it depending on how it plays out at the end. And it played out, in my opinion, beautifully because, here was the high, I think 169 or so, and it basically closed there. It didn't give it all back. Had this candle like really collapsed, I probably would have got out. But it basically held. And so that gave me the confidence. I'm in at $1.10, so I didn't think that it would collapse down through $1. And I had already taken some profit, so it gave me the confidence to hold on. And here's the post market, a little bit of the post market. And at this point, I just I didn't follow it anymore. But up to $1.92, I thought, wow, this is great. I wonder what's going to happen tomorrow. Well, let's take a look what happened tomorrow, which is of course today. And let's see if I can. Now you see how it started dropping in the pre-market. This is the pre-market, but very, very spotty. No volume at all, just kind of spotty. But as we started getting closer to the market being opened, I was actually saying in the room, I wonder if it can recapture too. When it did that, I decided to sell some at 214. Remember, I'm in at 110. So there's a nice $1.04, right? That's pretty good. Well, the best was absolutely yet to come. This tail disregard, this is, I think, just evening out some trades that weren't posted early. I mean, see that a lot on some of these stocks, but I don't mean the penny stocks and in a lot of stocks in general. But here is where it opened. Here's the 5 minute candle on the opening. and then it just started to take off. And excuse me, obviously wondering, will it crack 3? Well, it got up to 3, pulled back down, still holding. I was still going to hold. I think if it had gone back down through $2, I probably would have got rid of some. Um, but finally, I sold some right here. Here is it cracked through 3. No real reason to get out yet. I mean, this little candle here, but no real reason to get out yet. And eventually, I sold some more at 5.14. Remember, I'm in at $1.10, so that's a $4.04 gain. And then I sold the rest at 6.10, basically for plus $5. So just a fantastic trade. And, it's still holding its own. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but, I mean, this is something I will watch. But again, a big shout out has to go to Boiler for pointing this out to us in the pre-market yesterday, and his patience for stocking it as it held 78 cents for about 4 hours. Now, the next one is ISR. And now ISR is doing okay. This is another one. Now, if ISR, I believe, was one of these Ebola stocks a long time ago, and again, it had a press release also. And my belief is that, of course, when you're in a stock like PBMD, and it starts to lose a little bit of its momentum, and people start taking profits. I mean, people are going to look for another low price stock that seems to be flying. And of course, this one is. I mean, this is up almost 100%. And we saw ISR in the pre-market. This was already up big in the pre-market. You see it had the big pop on a press release. And you see it popped right up here. So there was no opportunity to trade it right here for me anyway. It just went up way too quickly. So I actually took a stab at it in the pre-market. I took a stab at 217 right here. When it got back up through 2, it looked like it might, the high right here is I think 241. So I thought, well, maybe it can recapture that high before the market actually opens. It did have a nice run up to 229, but then it fizzled out, and I sold for I think it was a couple cents. I think I actually was 218. So basically flat on this. And then it really did nothing. And I thought, okay, that's it. We've seen this from ISR before. And I thought, well, it's probably run out of steam, and that's about it. People will not trust it. Well, that's not what happened. Here we are again. Here's noon. So it took a while, but it got back over $2. And so I got back in at let's see, I got back in again at 220. In fact, I have to check my notes. Just 1 minute. Yeah, okay, so this is what happened. It popped up here on the pullback. I was stalking it, and then it looked like it was going to continue. So I took the trade at 223. It looked fantastic. This time I thought, well, maybe I won't try to scalp. Well, not that I was trying to scalp it before, but I thought I would give it a little more run in it, or allow it to have a little bit more run. But then I decided to get out right here at 229. So from 223 to 229. So nothing great. But I kept watching it, and I took it again at 246. Let's get to, I took it again at 246, out at 265, and at 281. And I'm now back in it at, it's not, well, I'm marked here at 302. I'm in it at 302. This little 301 is just an alert that I put in. So I'm in it at 302, trying to hold on. Okay, I decided that maybe I would try to hold on a little bit. And so if it breaks down through 3, I will definitely get out of it. But, let's take a look at the daily on this, or maybe the weekly will give you a better idea. The weekly up to 330, so you can see how it stalled right up there. But this had a huge run, and I believe this is back during the Ebola craze, 71 cents all the way up to 370, and I'm almost 100% sure this was all to do with Ebola. I think this is a company that kind of likes to pump out some iffy press releases, shall we say. But this has nothing to do with Ebola, so this has to be watched tomorrow again. So if it holds 3, I more than likely will hold this last piece. And the other one I did was, which worked out quite well, was WBAI. And this came from my best 10 list. And you'll notice that PBMD is on that list also. here it is, WBAI, and this is basically a list of stocks that what I do is I scan for stocks once the market's closed. So I scan for these stocks after the market closed yesterday, and these are stocks that I wanted to watch today. So WBAI was on the list, and at one point it was right at the top. And let's go to the daily chart on it. Well, actually, go to the daily chart. Maybe you'll see why. So here is yesterday's action. So I know that this has been all over the place. Obviously, it's a gambling stock, and I think they had some. Oh, well, look here. It was up to $18 and it collapsed down to $7. I think it had something to do with, I don't want to say fraud, but maybe legalization changes. I believe they have something to do with Macau. Anyway, it's been pretty choppy, and you see it was very sort of a consolidation pattern for quite a while. Little downturn the day before yesterday, and then yesterday it screamed higher. And look at the volume. So this is why it made my list. I wanted to, of course, I wanted to see what would happen today. So let's bring back the 5-minute chart, and so this is where I was watching it. It popped up. It pulled back all the way back down to 23.18, and then on this candle right here, I decided to take the trade at 23.76. It immediately popped over to over the 24 mark. I took some out at 24.20, held on. This almost got me out, I have to admit. I mean, certainly if it had gone down below $24, I was out of it. Was able to hold on because I had taken a piece out here, so I was already, basically assured of a profitable trade. And then it just roared higher, and I think it even, it went through 25. But then on the way back down, I sold it at 25.06. So, from 23.76 to 25.06. So a great trade. I mean, this would have been certainly the trade of the day had it not been for PBMD. So now, I just want to take one more look at ISR to see how it's doing. 326. Yeah, I mean, this looks really good. I mean, there's still an hour and a half left in the market. I have to leave a little bit earlier again today. That's why I'm doing the video right now. But I'll be sticking around for about another hour in the trading room, and we'll have to see what happens on it. But again, just a massive shout out to Boiler John for yesterday's PBMD alert. Just a really good one. Again, just reemphasize the point that I'm certainly not the only one in the room that's calling out trades. There are a lot of great traders in our room. I mean, we have about 150 people in the room. So I mean, they're not all posting trades, of course, but we have a lot of really excellent traders. So anyway, that's it for today. Let me just bring back the cover page, and here is again the address to get into our room. And you can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account, and I hope to see you in our trading room tomorrow.